And welcome to Hampton Downs. After an epic and groundbreaking first season, the B&T V8 SuperTourers are back for the 2013 series with another stellar lineup here this weekend. The weather is perfect. The New Zealand motorsport fans are here in force, with everyone looking forward to watching some of the biggest names in Australasian motor racing trying to knock defending series champion Scott McLaughlin from the #1 spot. As we build up to race #1, the latest addition to our team, Andrew Anderson, take us on a track tour of Hampton Downs. We are ready to go racing here at Hampton Downs, race 1 of the 2013 B&T V8 SuperTourers Championship. Ant Pedersen off the pole, the very experienced Greg Murphy lining up off the outside of row #1, Daniel Gaunt. He'll be forcing the issue down into turn 1, but I think the wild card here is going to be that car, the BOC Gases, Holden Commodore of Ashwells, who's been super impressive right throughout the weekend.
He has. He's been very impressive. Come to grips with these new cars very, very quickly as we see the teams rolling up to the start.
So Ant Pedersen off the pole. It's a 10-lapper for race #1. The 2013 B&T V8 SuperTourers Championships is underway.
Yes, heading into turn 1, the car's fanning out 3 or 4 abreast. John McIntyre having a look.
Oh,
contact.
No, that's Booth and Walsh.
Boothie, he's made contact with Walsh, and
it's
we've got a spinner. We've got half the field on the infield.
Simon Evans just short of the tyre wall. Well, it happened up the front, and then it concentrated further back. Scott McLaughlin.
Look at the damage. Our defending champion, Scott McLaughlin, has a front strut that's broken. Looks like Simon Evans has just nosed into the wall. Here he is reversing and regathering, but that car of Scott McLaughlin was, we watched the replay.
So Booth was slimping there, and behind Angus Fobbs, Simon Evans, Eddie Bell, Craig Baird, who wasn't involved in that turn 1 clash.
Here we go, on board with Andy Booth, deep into turn 1. Looks like he just gets a little bit wide and makes contact with Ashley Walsh on the outside.
McIntyre was down the inside. There was a touch there off the back of Boothie, who's got smoke billowing out the back of the Woodstock Commodore.
Yes, look, I think there's been contact on the rear of that car, and the Watts linkage in the back of the Woodstock Commodore has been broken, I believe. So
Craig Baird rejoining. Scott McLaughlin's going nowhere. He is out of the car. It's broken the left front suspension, probably the upright with the super cheap Auto Commodore. Look at the panel damage on the right-hand side of the car. The red flag is out.
Yes, the race has been halted, and not surprisingly, that car is wounded and it's not going anywhere. Look at the damage on the door, the wing mirror, the door, the strut, the front splitter. And look, let's not underestimate, these cars have to be turned around for race 2 in only a very short time frame.
There's going to be a fair amount of damage. Andy Booth, your take on that, mate? That was not the best start for race #1.
No, look, that's very disappointing, especially disappointing for the guy that I hit. You know, that's I just don't know what happened. The rear of the car just stepped out on me under brakes and had nowhere to go.
Yeah, you might have got a little assist down there, Boothie. There was another car down the inside of you, so it might not all be on you, mate.
No, well, I hope that is the case, because I feel really bad for these guys next door for having taken them out. But like I said, the rear of the car just came around on me. Yeah, maybe I did get a shot from behind. Not a good start to the weekend for the Woodstock car, though.
All right, we'll leave you, Boothie. Obviously, the team with some work to do to get that car turned around, but quite a few cars sustaining damage in that race 1 start, and it all happened down into turn #1. Well, talk about a dramatic start to the weekend. Scott McLaughlin's only just arrived back in the country. His first stint in the car off the back of qualifying.
Look at him there,
it's any wonder he's scratching his head.
Yes, he'll be wondering what on earth happened in that opening few hundred metres as they headed into turn 1.
I mean, it looked like there was some contact, I think, initially with Andy. He said the rear of the car stepped out. You know, there was, I think John McIntyre was down the inside. We're not going to make a call on that, whether, you know, exactly what happened, but as Boothie was sort of trying to regather, and I think it probably took the Watts linkage out of the car, and it was rubbing wheels on guards and everything like that. It got worse in behind him, and there was 7 or 8 cars involved, a couple of cars sustaining some heavy damage. I think Simon Evans might have got away with it on the outside. Don't think he actually got into the tyre wall. He was in the walls in qualifying after some contact with Dominic Story, new front splitter and a headlight for that car after the qualifying session. But boy, oh boy, I didn't think it was going to happen quite that early. It's the start of the new championship. And let's have a look at some replays of the incidents, and there were more than one on the run down to turn #1. Pedersen got the initial jump. There's Booth getting out of shape. McIntyre was down the inside. I'm not sure if there was contact there. Ash Walsh copped the brunt of it. And then in behind that, it all went wrong. It looked like Craig Baird got turned around initially. Eddie Bell parked up against him. Foggy went off. Simon Evans went off.
Yeah, let's look at the front-on shot. So Beardo, there we go. We just saw the contact. Beardo being turned around. Scott McLaughlin made contact. On board with Andy Booth into turn 1. Suddenly snaps to the outside, makes contact with Ash Walsh.
So he's struggling from here, and then in behind him, looking out back at camera, Baird's already facing the wrong direction. There's 4 or 5 cars going off through the dust and the grass.